helped my children based on my childhood.
Yeah.
And my mother doing the best she could for me, but she was dropping off some different. We had different babysitters.
Yeah.
And babysitters weren't great babysitters.
Yeah.
They were very harmful.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Christyn Show. Today we have another amazing guest, and this is Denise Jackson. I've known her since I was a teenager, so if you hear me saying Miss Denise, that's just out of respect. That's just who I am. I'm going to go back and forth, sorry. But it's so much she's going to talk to us about the kids that she raised, all 8 girls she raised, where she is now, her business. She is a holistic health and wellness mental health coach, and we're going to start from the beginning with her babies and her raising them and who she's becoming and who she became as she going into this empty nest space. You have one left that you're raising, but we continue to raise them as they grow into who they are, and they continue to watch us as we're growing into who we are, just to, So I just want you to talk to us about just being, we're going to start with just being a mom of 8 and what that looks like and how that made you into who you are, and and then we'll move into the transition of where you are now and how you chose what you did. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's start here.
Okay.
Being a mom of 8 was not the dream.
Right.
My dream was I was going to have 5 children.
Okay.
And at least 3 boys. Like, I had this thing mapped out.
Okay.
And guess what? I have 8 girls.
8 girls.
So that plan went out the window.
Yep.
And so now we're looking at raising 8 girls. I wouldn't change anything about having 8 girls. I used to think, oh man, I just want a boy, Well, guess what? I have son-in-laws. And then we have young men that come into the home, and I get to mother them. So I'm not missing what I thought I was missing.
Right.
So, but raising 8 girls has been, I call it an amusement park, roller coaster, because it's constantly up and down and up and down, and we had to be ready. We had to learn how to be ready for the ups and downs, and because they're going to come, So for me, it was growing up thinking that it was going to be this. I was going to create this picture perfect life for myself and with a husband, and it wasn't picture perfect. Yeah. So, and I have to say, I thank God that I found him, or I turned to him earlier, because he's been my foundation before marriage. Yeah.
Can you tell me what picture perfect looked like? What your picture perfect?
What my picture perfect was, you're gonna get married. You go to school, get married, have children, and live this happily. Everything is going to be fine. You have a husband. It's going to work out for you. You're not going to have a whole lot of arguments because you're not going to do anything to cause these arguments. And you're going to raise these kids that are going to be great. They're going to do amazing. They're not going to, it's like no mistakes because you're going to teach them. And that was a fantasy for real.
Right.
So, so after getting married, it was like, I thought marriage is going to be a certain way. And I realized, something wrong with him. There's something wrong with him. But then I realized, God said, no, it's something wrong with you.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay. So I said, I was almost like offended, like, because I was like, Lord, he need to be thankful that I'm married to him. And then God says, no, you need to be thankful that you have him. And I did this grasp, like, and then I thought about it. And then I was like, wow, he's right. Yeah. He's right, because God said, that is my son, as you are my daughter. And just like you're learning, he's gonna learn. I'm gonna teach him, but he's gonna help me teach him. He's gonna help me show his love to him. And I didn't grow up with all that. Yeah. So this was it was interesting. It's been very interesting. And then when you when I chose God, I was choosing anything against the enemy, which is already a warfare by itself. Yeah. So so I would say that had I not had God, my life would have been much harder than it already is, and already had challenges. So that's what I'm gonna give it right back to God every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. So I know I have 4 kids, half.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you have half.
I have half of what you have, and as I'm doing podcasts and I'm doing parties and I'm doing ministry and all of this, I still have the kids that I have young kids, so I'm still somebody just told me the other day that you've been a mom for 20 years, and that just almost blew my mind that, I got 20 years of motherhood under my belt, but I'm still, every child is different.
Every child is different.
And yes, I have 20 years for him under my belt. I have so many more years with the other ones that I have to learn how they learn and have compassion for those kids and give them the life that they need to have. My 20-year-old that's about to be 21, had a different life than what, not bad, just different.
Just different. It's just different.
Than this group. And I'm really interested in seeing what's next. So for you, it's like you're almost at the end of, you're not at the end of motherhood, but at the end of your homeschool, and that's a whole nother journey and what that looks like. And maybe you could talk a bit about that before we go on to where you are now. Just to be able to have 8 at home to homeschool. Like, we have some moms that's homeschooling, and sometimes that homeschool space can make you feel, I did homeschool 1 year with one of my kids. Well, of course, COVID made you do it with all of them at one point, but fully homeschool with our daughter for 1 year. And it's a lot to juggle your own life and your own health and your own just taking care of yourself, and making sure that they have that. A lot of times as mothers, we put ourselves to the back end, so we get the empty cup, and so I guess if you could tell us how that journey through homeschooling all 8, correct? Or 7?
It's 7.
All 7 of them, and what that looked like, and now going into, before we get to the transition into you, what did that homeschool journey look like?
Well, homeschool journey
without losing you, or did you lose you? Or did you lose you? Okay, go ahead.
So, homeschooling was not what I wanted to do. It was not.
Never knew that, guys. Never knew that.
When I went into this, all I could think about was, as soon as this kid is old enough to go to school, they're going, because I'm going to be freed up, and then another baby, and so what happened is, I wasn't intending on homeschooling, but I went to, I did a pop-up. I like to do pop-ups at the school. And when I popped up at the school, I wound up hearing these 2 adults, one teacher and another faculty member, and they were talking about this one child. And they were saying some stuff, and I'm like already disturbed, right? And so they were saying some things, and then I realized I knew who they were talking about. Wow. It was my niece. So I'm like, this is who's teaching our kids? And so that was one thing that stuck in my head. And then it was like, they said you can come have lunch. So I was trying to come have lunch with my children. And then again, we have another conversation, but this time the lady don't even know she's on the speaker. She's being heard. And then, so I'm talking, and I'm having issues with the office. And if you know me, I'm easygoing. Yeah. I'm not a pressure person. So I was thinking, this is not what I want for my kids. Yeah. And so my daughter was having some issues with, in the system with learning some things. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with her. Yeah. I don't know. And then I ended up at church talking to one of the ladies at church, and she was telling me she homeschooled her kids. And I was like, girl, I don't know how I could do that. That's not me. After that, it kept wearing on me. Yeah. And it was like, it was tapping in. It would tap in. It wouldn't release me. Yeah. So when I went to go, finally I was like, you know what? Okay. So I went to go talk to my husband about it. And he was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I was like, okay. So I'll go back to God. I'm like, Lord, this is what I heard. What I'm going to do. Right. So he goes, keep pursuing. So I kept pursuing. I did. I kept doing, getting information, looking up things, talking to different people. And because I'm still like, I don't know if I want to do this, but I keep feeling like I'm supposed to. So I wind up going, talking, and then the Lord said, pursue. So I went in, I found out where the nearest homeschool community was. When they were having a meeting, I enrolled in the meeting. I put my husband on the list. I said, Lord, I know he's not interested, but I'm gonna put it. But I heard the Lord say, put his name on the list. So I put his name on the list, and you go to the meeting. So I just let my husband know, this meeting is coming up. I'm gonna go to the I just want to find out what they have going on.
Yeah.
And he wasn't interested. He's like, okay, I'll drop you off. So we getting dressed, ready to go, and we get to the building, and who's getting out the car with me?
Yeah.
My husband. And so he wound up sitting there with me and listening, and he was like, is it too late to get our kids in? Are we going to do this? And I go, it's up to you. And he's like, we're going to do this. So that's how that journey started. Yeah. What I did was I went all in real fast, too fast, because I would have said at that time, the one child that was having the struggle, I would have focused more pulling that one and dealing with her first, giving her a whole year, just me, getting her back on track. But no, I was excited because my husband's on board and I feel like this is what I want to do. Okay, we're going to do this. Okay, pull everybody home.
Right. Yeah.
And, but what I was able to start doing was I was able to start having devotionals with them in the morning. And we talked so much about God. We talked so much about God that I could tell that God he was okay.
Yeah.
It was like we were talking about him. And then the educational portion will come after, which made our journey that day much easier. Yeah. So when the days that we rushed out and we didn't give God that time, but we rushed to prayer, those were really hard days. So I would if somebody was homeschooling, I would say, here, listen to the Holy Spirit and take it one step at a time. Don't rush. And also know that if God sent you to the journey, don't rush the journey. Don't worry about the journey. Don't stress about the journey, because if the Holy Spirit was there to get you into it, he's going to guide you the rest of the way. Yeah. So you don't have to worry about, is my child measuring up with this child over here or that, or they're doing their homeschool like that in their home. No, our home was different. Yeah. Our home was different. So, and so here we are. And did we have the child that was struggling with education? Yes, we did. Did we have the child that was like defiant, like, I ain't going to do this, I'm not going to do this? We sure did. Did we have the child that wake up every morning, oh, my stomach hurt? And I'm thinking, you're faking, but yeah, we had that. Yeah. We had all the things that you can possibly imagine. Yeah. Did we have children that like want to take things that didn't belong to them? Absolutely. And we had to deal with it. Yeah. But the beauty of the homeschooling, though, was I was able to take my children wherever I went. Yeah. We had backpacks that stayed packed. Yeah. We'd get in the car. If an emergency happened, grab your backpack, let's go. And we went to where we had to go. If I had to feel like I need to go see my mother, okay, let's go. Yeah. If we're going on vacation, okay, let's go. So those were benefits.
This is so fun. This is going to be so weird now. But you just said you had a backpack, so, you have some girls a lot of your girls carry backpacks. This is something that they do. And if I need something, it's always in their backpack. They're ready. So it's like you just gave them a whole life skill just trying to get through. Like, we don't even realize we giving our kids skills and life skills as we're going through. And I love how God does things. How he gives you things that you don't even know that it's for their future. Like, I'm gonna tell you this real quick, but this is for them later. And if we don't stay connected with the source, which is Jesus Christ, if we don't, we're gonna lose it. That was so good. Like, that just gave me a whole, like, my mind is always visual. Like, have your bags, like your backpack packed.
Have it ready. Then I want to add something to that. Okay. I remember when my children were growing up, I was home. My husband worked out, so we didn't have a whole lot of resources to throw all over the place. But I remember the Lord told me to go, he says, go to the thrift store. I was like, I need this, go to the thrift store. So I would go to the thrift store, and then the thrift store became our place, right? And so I watched my children learn how to maneuver at the thrift store. We would still go to the other stores, but thrift store was first. And I taught them how to pray before you go to the thrift store. So we would get things that had tags on them, brand new, or if people would deliver stuff to us, we would always pray that whoever gives us something, it's good, not, you know.
Yeah.
So people would think that we had all this money. They said, we thought you guys were rich. I said, how was that? She said, because your kids always came to church well put together. And I was able to share with them thrift store. But I remember one of my kids was having a problem with it. And then something happened, shift in the world where we had everything, something happened because of the finances, everything shifted. And people were doing crazy stuff. Yeah. They were like killing themselves, killing their families. And God says, this is why you taught them thrift store. Yeah. So it was everything that I was teaching them was how to survive in a world where if you have enough, or you can go and buy stuff at this store that's high end, you can. But also know that if you have low points in your life where you don't have it, you don't have to not have it.
The funny part is the thrift store became a whole trend.
Hello. It did. It really
So that's
did.
why I was like, I'm learning to just start going with the, like, not going with the flow, whatever, because you don't want to get caught up in mess, but just learning how that every moment don't have to be a stressful moment, don't have to be, people can turn something into something real quick, and you'd be like, oh, that was a thing.
Yeah, sure.
And I felt like it was a struggle during my time, or it was embarrassing, but people making it a thing, and just trying to train our kids of who they are, and that they can make it trendy, that this is something,
exactly.
You have very trendy girls. Like, you have girls that they're very creative and minded. Like, they're, you know who they are.
They do themselves. And
I love that. I love that about them.
They have their own personality. And yes, it's not absent of, we had to grow to some areas. Like, we had to, like, you know, I would hear God say they will understand it later. But you're going to go through the pain right now, but they'll understand it later. Yeah. And so I'm watching them flourish, because Dallas literally is the last one. Yeah. And they were like, well, how come Dallas I said, honey. And I go to Hunty, right? By the time where we were with you, I was constantly evolving. We were constantly growing. So by the time Dallas is, Denise, don't stress about that. Don't stress about this. Well, is Dallas going? Yep, Dallas is going. Did we pray first? Yep, we prayed. Dallas is going. Yeah. But different world, different time. And so for Dallas, she's getting a lot more freedoms. Yeah. But also, go ahead.
No, I was going to say just communicating. What I had to learn was communicating where they were, where you were. Like, I had, like sometimes it'd be like, my oldest would say, you know, they getting more, he got more of me. I always say, you got the younger version of me, you know? But it's like, I felt like I didn't communicate a lot with him, because I was still growing. I was still young.
Absolutely.
So it's like, as I get older, the older I got, Dallas got a different you.
Absolutely.
A different season of your life than they got. So to me, I'm looking like, now I'm communicating, we don't have it right now. Instead of trying to put,
that's right.
You know, and some stuff you're going to have, but let me tell you, or I don't have it, but I'm going to work hard to get it. Because you're not going to look at me like, you know, and not in a bad way. It's just like, I want to communicate some of the struggle to get to this point. Because I don't want you to think it was easy to get to, or it was a handout, or, you know, that you have to, some stuff you're going to have to work hard for, some stuff going to be a blessing.
You have to be able to, I want to say that we want our children to be able to adapt. Yeah. They have to be able to adapt. Yeah. So there's seasons when you're going to have it and it's all well, but then there are seasons when you don't. What are you going to do? You have to adapt. Yeah. And so right now we're dealing with a lot of stress, right? Because people don't know how to adapt. Yeah. To what's going on right now. Yeah. So you said something that triggered this thought of my daughter. What were we doing? My daughter was doing something, and I was like, she was having a hard time adjusting, and so I started beginning to feel bad about a mom. I was wearing this thing for her because the way people was talking to me, where they were, you know, I would hear things. I started feeling like I was a really bad mom. And then a family relative came up to me and she said, "You know what? I need you to remember this. we were so young when we started having our children that we were growing up with our kids.
Yeah.
And when she said that, it stuck, and I dwelled on it. I'm like, wow, I was growing up with my child. So she said, a lot of the stuff that you were wearing and the way that you was feeling about certain things, she said, let that thing go, because you were growing up, because you're not the same person now. So it's constantly reminding my children, the way you're thinking right now, trust me, it's now. But guess what? I said, just like Barney was a dinosaur, was a good thing for you when you were 3 years old.
Right.
I said, well, how did you feel when you were 8 or 10? Do you think Barney was cool? No, Barney was for my little kid, my little siblings. Yeah. Right. Where you are right now in life, it's not going to be the same 3 years from now, 5 years from now. So it's like those things that we're assuring them that it's going to be okay. But I had to walk through this thing. And because there are other people that I know that have had it all. Yeah. And they cannot function. It's such a struggle not having things, or not being able to go buy this number top of the name brand thing, but not trusting God that he can still give you that name brand thing. Yeah. Or that thing that looked just as good. Yeah. Because it's all him pouring over that blessing. So
that's my own struggle. I just told my sister the other day I need deliverance, and they looking like, what you need deliverance from? I said, looking at this Adidas website. Ooh, girl. I said, they need to stop sending me these sales, because I don't want to. Because I want to make sure that I'm putting I can still have those things, but I want to make sure that I'm taking care of the stuff, my priorities first. Yeah, exactly. And that's my battle. And I want God to be able to trust me with a lot. I do. And if every time I get a lot, I decide to splurge on Adidas, then he can't trust me, because it's so much more. And then the funny part is, I remember somebody saying, oh, I got something for you. And it could be the same exact thing that I've been trying to get all this time. And he was like, if you obey me in this season, I'm going to make sure that you have. And it doesn't, and to me, I know he promises that we'll get what we need. And just, I love him when he gives us what we want sometimes. I love it. A lot of times he gives.
I was going to say.
A lot of times he gives it to us. Look. I love it. I always say, God, I think I'm your favorite. But
and guess what? You are his favorite. You know why? Because I'm his favorite. Yeah. Your husband is his favorite. Yeah. My sister's his favorite. We all are his favorites.
Yeah. I be like, okay, God, I see you.
No, we all his favorites. And I'm just, I just love the fact that where I'm sitting at right now, I could see so much more than I could see. So I look at 61 like, yes. Yeah. You know,
you heard it, 61. This is what 61 look like. This is you just transitioned perfectly. And, this is what we transitioned into.
And so for me, I remember thinking, I'm not going to dress like that. Yeah. But that trend was like, this is how you're going to... No, I'm not dressing like that. So I'm going to be the grandma. I'm going to be the mom with the cut jeans. I'm going to be the mom with the trendy outfit. Because the way I look at it, if I think it looks good on me, don't nothing else matter with anybody else. Yeah. So I'm going to be at the... And if I like certain things, look, Denise is going to be a Ross woman, a Walmart woman. And if I'm gonna be, I'll be a Target woman, and then there are days where I may be in a store and I'm at this high end store and walk right over to the sale rack. Why? I can have the money, but I don't want to do that. Yeah. Because my brain is thinking. This is how I think. I'm thinking if I spend $200 on a shoe or an outfit, I'm thinking who else could have benefited from that if I waited for God to give me off. I wait for it to be on sale. I can take that maybe $150 and I can help somebody else. Yep. I can have a meal at my house and invite people over. Yep. I can somebody could, a woman could be having something going on and I can go take her out to lunch. Yeah. So I'm looking at where my money is going, and I'm looking at is God okay with where my money is going? Yeah. So it's and everybody's different. Everybody's different. But that for me, I'm always thinking, and sometimes that can mess me up because I'm always thinking what the value or the cost of something is, and put myself short. Yeah,
I think we gotta. While you was talking, I think we gotta be careful of that. Like being careful of taking care of so many that we forget to take care of us.
There you go.
And fill ourselves up and make sure that we're not, because we give out so much, and then when we get back before them. Now I'm not saying I love giving. I'm a giver at heart. That's how I feel like I was raised. That's one good thing from my mom that most of my siblings or all of my siblings we do. But I had to learn how you give, but you have to make sure that you're taking care of you too. And what does that look like? What does that look like for you in each season? Like, yeah, to me, when I talked about just not looking at these, I can't wear all this stuff. Like, my closet too full. Like, now he's like, give, and now I have to go in there. He said to me the other day, if I tell you to let somebody in your closet and pick whatever shoes they want, would you be okay when it walks out that door? And I said, ooh. Let me look. And then I go in my closet and look.
Figure out, like,
and I'm looking like, I didn't even know I had it. That's
wow.
That's when you know you have too much
stuff. I agree.
I can't wear it. It's too much.
I totally agree.
So as much as I want to be on there, until you're ready to release, stop looking. You can look. You can't buy.
Right.
And sometimes I don't even want the temptation of looking.
There you go. Because you know yourself.
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree with that. I totally agree. I went into my closet one year. My kids, this is what the beauty of having homeschool kids. Okay, help. They home. I was in a depressed state, and I wasn't feeling good about myself. Just wasn't feeling good about myself. And when I would get to this place, one of my children would go on. They would check me, and they would go and put in worship music. They was like, Mom's not having a good day, and they would put on worship music. CeCe Winans. They already knew how to shake me out of this. And then they was like, Mom, you know what we're gonna do? You dress old. You dress like you're not happy. So we're gonna go in and put we want you to go in your closet, and I want you to try on these outfits, and we're gonna say yes or no.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we did was, I had this trash bag, and we began to go in it. No. And I trusted the kids. No. Yes. No. You can get that. We ended up, those outside tall trash bags, the big ones, full of clothes in my closet. All those clothes left my closet.
Oh wow!
They said, Mom, you're never gonna wear these clothes again. We're not gonna let you.
Wow.
So we got rid of the clothes. I sent it to the thrift store. I got a phone call 2 days later. I have a lot of clothes in my closet that I have not worn. They're really good clothes. Would you mind checking them out? And I'm like, I was just already saying, Lord, how are you going to provide these clothes I just got rid of? My kids said, Mom, your clothes are all black and brown and blue. And I immediately began to develop a love for colors. So here I go out the gate, orange, yellow, and they're like, what is going on with this woman? Yeah. And I just started liking colors. And so it was a process of so the clothes that she had given me, all these colorful clothes. And so I began to change the way I was thinking, because my clothes I was feeling good about myself. My clothes were different. So, but I had to get rid of something. Yeah. So when we, instead of thinking that we're gonna lose something, and I had to work on that. Yeah. Thinking that I'm gonna lose something when I give it away, but actually God is going to bless me double. Yeah. If I give it away to someone else. Yeah. So yeah.
So now that we're talking about blessing double. And doubly blessed. After you raised these amazing 8 girls, what was next for you? I know you still have one in the house, which is a teenager, and I know she have a year or two.
She this year, 2 years. It's this year, next year. She's 11th grade.
Oh, okay. I was giving her.
Girl, don't give her no extra time, because she will not be happy.
I know.
I'm getting comfortable with letting her go. Yeah. But I want to enjoy this moment. Yeah. So I'm taking all these pictures. Mom, why you keep taking pictures? We're in the car driving to school taking pictures. We at the place getting something to eat. We're taking pictures. I said, because our journey is wrapping up. Yeah. And so, she's like...
And the season of life that she's in now, the homeschooling, her being, I don't know, because I don't know what's for her, but I know I want you to tell us, because I know she got greatness, and I know she got a great person that's raising her and that's going to direct her into her path. Like, I know that this is the 8th, so I watched 7, and I watch you still mentor them in womanhood, but I know that your season you have started a whole season in the midst of raising this last one, And I've watched you glow through this thing, grow through this thing, just to be on my podcast and even talking. Mm-hmm. Like, I already knew it was at you, but just watching it come out, like, what's going on? Like, tell me where I'm going to be in the next one. I don't even want to add no years. But,
living your best life.
Right. You're living your best life. But tell me what this looks like. Like, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. How are you? In the beginning, I said you're a holistic health and wellness mental health coach. Mm-hmm. Like, how did you start this? What does this look like? You, and I'm gonna say this because I watched you just being like, Lord, is this you using your voice? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And watching you just be outspoken now. Mm-hmm. And even if you're not fully outspoken, I'm gonna speak that over mm-hmm. you. Like, you got that in you. That was because that's my struggle trying mm-hmm. to talk it. I'm so like the mm-hmm. person that can talk to everybody but don't want to be in front of a screen. I don't. And the people I don't know, it's a little harder to try to gauge them and stuff. Mm-hmm. But because he brought me, I'm watching you grow in this space too. Mm. And what are you doing? What does this look like? You said 60 what? 61. What does this look like at 61 with most of your 8 girls raised and out the house? Girl,
I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling like they said that cloud that you floating on. Mm-hmm. That's where I'm at right now because I couldn't just Dallas being where she's located right now. Yeah. God had to do that. So I'm going to tell you this because this is really key in knowing how I got here. When I was coming out of, I got sick off some medication. And so coming through that season of healing, mm-hmm. Dallas was my youngest kid. Mm-hmm. When I found that I was pregnant, I was like, oh my God, I'm calculating how old I'm going to be. And I'm like, oh God, please let me live so that I'll be around for her. Yeah. Because in my mindset, 60, I remember thinking I'm going to be 62 years old when she's graduated or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I don't want her to miss anything. And that girl was stuck to me. Mm-hmm. I had her by me. She was with me when she was little. She's on my hip mm-hmm. or she's on one of her sister's hip. And then one day I was laying in this chair and I laid back in the chair and thought I was falling asleep. I just laid back. And what I did was God gave me a vision. Mm. And in this vision, I was soaring. I was like, God was telling me to soar. So I was trying to soar. So I'm like trying to soar, but I was like low. And then I realized I couldn't soar because I had Dallas on my back. Mm. And so I was holding her like this mm-hmm. while I was trying to soar. And you can't soar with your hands not extended out. So when God says, let her go. Mm. And I'm like, what? So he said, I need you to soar. Baby. There you go. So I had one arm right here mm-hmm. and I was holding her and I started going up a little bit higher. Mm. And then he said, let her soar. So I took both my hands and I put them out. And when I put them out, I was all over the place. And guess where she was at? Stuck to my back. God says, I got her. Mm. So she's so different from her sisters mm-hmm. because that's what God had to do for her. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of years down the line, one morning he says, one night in prayer, Sabbath prayer, he said, can I have your children? I was like excited. Like God said, can I have your children? I'm like, yeah. Then he asked me a second time. And he said, can I have your children? And I was like, yeah, you just asked me that. I'm like, okay. The third time he asked me, all this is in one setting. He said, can I have your children? And I was like, yes. And when I said yes, I just boo-hoo cried like a baby because inside my spirit, I knew mm-hmm. that meant giving him everything. Yeah. And I was giving him everything. And I felt the umbilical cord literally snip. And the separation happened. Yeah. You talking about boo-hooing like a baby? I was crying because I understood it. Mm-hmm. The next morning I woke up free as I don't know what, honey. I'm trying to tell you. I woke up free like, oh my God, this is so liberal. Because I didn't carry the weight of my kids.
Right.
So where things were happening with my children, people were like questioning, but I'm free of them, which means
go talk to their father.
Hello. So if I'm free, right, then that means God has them, which means I don't have to worry about them. But he ain't talked to their daddy yet. Yeah. So he's like, how come you don't know where so-and-so is? So-and-so's a whole grown-up. Why do I know where she is? It was like, do you know where so-and-so's going? No. So I'm thinking in my mind, he's like, what is wrong with my wife? I'm free. And I'm like really living in this thing. So the day he did that, that is the most liberating. And so I was able to begin to pursue more. And so when he put this holistic in me years ago. But I couldn't do anything with it because I wasn't sore. I was still holding on to those kids, trying to help my kids, And I helped them based on I helped my children, and I helped my children based on my childhood.
Yeah.
And my mother doing the best she could for me, but she was dropping off some different. We had different babysitters.
Yeah.
And babysitters weren't great babysitters. They were very harmful. They were, they were mean. They were they just put so much fear inside of me. My sister took the opposite road. Like, I ain't scared of nobody. For me, it was like I was fearful of everything. So it made me cling to my kids stronger than I probably should have. It made me more cautious of my children. Until God said, Denise, how are you going to take care of your children when you can't take care of you? I take care of you. So if I take care of you, I'm going to be wherever you are. I'm going to be wherever your children are. Yeah. You cannot hold on to them like you're holding on to them. And so what people were judging, they didn't understand what I had gone through. Yeah. That caused me to be the way that I am. Yeah. So once I got that thing together, I was open for him to pour into me what he wanted to pour into me. Yes, he told me that I was going to be the voice for those who cannot speak. Yes, he told me that I was going to be, he was sending me to places where women were waiting for me, but they didn't know I was coming and they didn't even know me. But I couldn't live it out. Like, I'm ministering to women every day. Yeah. And not realizing that I'm ministering every day. So so while I was raising children, God was raising me. Yeah. And so I was. So
while you were raising women.
Yes.
That he was about to send you to the world to help.
Yes.
As your daughters bring home their friends, and you ministering to these babies. That's what he was growing you for.
And that's and so we. So when I got out of myself, I could see a better picture. Yeah. So what it is I began to paint the picture that I wanted to see in my kids. Yeah. And so that means no matter how challenges they were coming through or whatever I was thinking, the picture has already been painted. It's going to happen because me and God already had a conversation. Yeah. And so I was able to let them make their mistakes. Yeah. And you still have to get on them about some things, but they just like God was patient and waited for me to come to him. I have got to be patient to wait for my children to find him. For themselves, not because what I've given them, but to be able to pick up from where I left off. So where we're looking at right now, I look at my children and they're doing so phenomenal. They're doing amazing. No, they didn't have the same path that some other children have had, but I'm watching their love for Christ develop in such a way that it blows me. It blows me. And now they're bringing their friends. Yeah. They're bringing their friends, and this is what it was all about. It was all about ministry. Yeah. Who are you bringing with you? Yeah. Who are you taking with you? Yeah. Are you going to make success and get there by yourself, or are you going to take somebody with you? Yeah. So I'm watching them care. My children care about people. They do. And I'm watching them, except Dahlia. Dahlia is like...
She cares her own.
Dahlia her own person. Dahlia's her own.
She acts like she don't care. She does.
She does.
And the funny part, they're going to make you care. Like these kids, the little ones, they're going to get her first. Them little ones...
Devin got her. Devin got her. So just watching me sitting back with the umbilical cord cut... and watching them soar and do their thing and make their mistakes and figure it out and go through the hard stuff. But guess what? Our door has always been open. And I always let my kids know, I don't care if it's 2:00 in the morning. You can find me. Yep. You come to my door. You come to my house. You call me on the phone, because the world where it is right now is very hard. Oh yeah. So I'm here. You and your dad are here for you. Yeah. So it's like, so they know that door is open. Yeah. So some people are like, you need to, kick them out. You need to do it. I'm like, this is a different journey. This is me and God, and this is
you got to know your journey for your family, and you got to know your kids, and you have to know what God called you to be in their lives. And I guess that's what I'm learning as I go. I don't remember Okay, later on I did get kicked out, but I don't remember. But I got kicked out after I came home for a second to wait a few months to get. But that was a whole different situation. But waiting to get married, and my mom was going through her own stuff with her marriage, and it was just time for me to go. And God made a way for me to get to that space. But I do believe that you know your kids, and you know when they're ready, and because I watched that, I know that God has their back, even if it wasn't available. Even when that door wasn't open for me, for that one time out of the many that I came back home, that God had the backup plan. Okay. No, he did not forget backup plan. That was the plan. The plan. He had the plan already that we don't already know. And that's why when he freed you up and he told you to let go of those kids, he was preparing you for your next.
Exactly.
He was preparing you for where you were going and how you were going to help these women. And that whole preparation of raising your kids was preparing you for this. That whole, the health, the wellness, the mental health of it, the part that you went through with being sick and having to get out of that sickness prepared you to get to you becoming this. The holistic health, wellness, mental health coach. Where you are now, where you're thriving now. And like when I watch you even just talking about it, and I'm gonna let you give you a chance to tell us about it, but just talk about like all the things that you do. This if somebody say this pain and you're like, oh, what is it? You ready?
I'm ready.
But to get to that point, you cut the cord, you let God take care of them. And now it's you to take care. Let God taking care of you, and you helping others at the same time. What does that look like? How does that look like? It's this journey of freeing from the connection.
It was a bondage and a couple of other things. Remember, you were talking about your 10-year-old self. Well, mental health. My mom checked out when I was about 8 years old, 9 years old. So, from mental illness. So I was already being prepped for this.
Yeah.
So it's having to learn I had to learn how to survive mentally. And so that made me who I am. Yeah. So I was able to deal with things that some people feel like, why'd you deal with that? Yeah. But God was preparing me. So where I'm at right now today, my heart is, I want to help this person because I know if God can help me, I know I can help them. So I have a compassion. I just want to help. Yeah. And so all the things that fall, like becoming a holistic and wellness coach, someone dropped a class on my email, text me or something. So I think this class would be good for you. This was maybe 8-9 years ago. Okay. And I was like, okay. I looked at it, jumped in it, I enjoyed it. And I was like, okay, and it was affordable. So I started doing this. So me being sick, me looking for a natural way of doing things because the medicinal side of traditional medicine, I would say the way we do medicine now, my body didn't work that way, and so I had to find something. And so people always saying you're getting, no, I'm not. The one side does not fit all for everyone. Yeah. So for me, medication did not work. Yeah. So I had to find another alternative, which means who am I going to go to? The Father. This thing gets dropped in my lap. Okay, it's working. Somebody else said, "Come go to this essential oil thing." I go to it, and I'm like, "That's not going to work." Yeah. Get home, realize I haven't had an anxiety or a panic. Oh, hold up, wait a minute. It's been 2 days, and I haven't even felt anxious. Let me go call this lady up and find out what this thing really is about. Yeah. So the essential oil. So I'm like, hold up, how many people in this world need an option? Yeah. So this is how I wound up doing this, because I felt like there are people that need options, and I had to be unafraid. Yeah. To go into a territory that wasn't happening. Yeah. To be able to share with people, or So here I am, learning stuff, getting information, learning more stuff. What's wrong with you? Okay, let's make something. What's wrong with you? Let's make something. Yeah. And giving stuff away. And so now I'm here, and then God says, now that you've gotten this together, let's work on your mental state a little bit more. So I wasn't looking for becoming a mental health coach. Right. I just wanted to, it just popped in. Somebody, popped up on the thing. And I was like, honey, do you think I should take this? Because I thought he's going to tell me no. And I was going to be set and done. And he goes, hey, I think that'd be a great idea.
Right.
Oh, inside I'm like, shoot. Because I knew God had told to me, but I wanted a way out. So I went and signed up for the class. Didn't realize I was signing up for class. And I went and opened up the thing, and it was like, oh, class session 101, 201, 301. Hold up. I'm in school, like for real. Then they want all this information. And I was running from school because I didn't think my mental state could handle it with raising kids. That helped me deal with that inner child. And the things that I didn't receive. Yeah. And I didn't get. And walk me through that process. And people started falling. One lady said, hey, I'm running this class. Would you like to come and let me coach you? Yes. I was thinking, and this person, I was thinking about her. And so when I say that God, the Holy Spirit, we don't have to worry about how we get there. We never, ever have to worry about how we get to the place where God is sending us. Yeah. Because he's going to put it in front of you. He's going to line the people up. He's going to provide the finances. He just does, because why would the Lord send you to a place and tell you fend for yourself? Yeah. He's going to take you everywhere you have to go. Yeah. So right now I'm living my life, helping people, getting clients now. And at first I was thinking, when am I going to get some clients? When am I going to get clients? Because we're looking at the finances and saying, when we're going to get clients, and then we're looking at the finances, and I'm starting to feel like I need to work. This last child is coming up. I need to work. She's getting ready to come out. And then God is like, stop worried about that. I got it. My husband said, you taking another class? I am. But guess what? All of those things now are tying in together. All just tying together. So my thing is, I'm always like, where are we going? Yeah. Who am I speaking? Who am I going to speak with today? Yes, I may be a little bit nervous about it, but somebody needs what I have. Somebody's life depends on what I have to offer.
This whole conversation, as you was just talking about this last piece, I was like, she was setting trends. She was setting herself up for where God had, the plan that he has for your life. From the backpack that I brought up, to the thrift store, to your mom's mental health, to just things just starting to drop in, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to take a chance. Dang, okay, God, you need to speak to my husband, but you telling me, please, Lord, let him know. But just watching your journey is like, okay, this is how you got here. And just saying yes. Woo! I think one of my last podcasts, I told someone, I was like, I was that no. God said, go to, not me.
That was me too.
No, it ain't gonna be me. I said, Lord, I don't always have the words to say. I don't want to stand amongst people. I don't want to be, it was sad because he put so much in me, and it's like, you don't want to use what I gave you? That's hard.
You care more about how you feel,
or what people would think,
or what people think. And that right there, and that's what I'm dealing with right now.
You miss a whole calling on your life.
I miss so.
And this is how. Let me tell you how I had to work. Let me tell you how I had to start doing it, because I cared for people so much. I had to start tricking my mind and saying, "Dad, you didn't save somebody." So if you say no to this, because I believe that everybody's an answer to somebody else's.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If I go to God and say, God, I need this, if the person I'm supposed to get it from say no, he gonna find another way. But how much sooner could I have got it if you right here and I need something? I say, God, I need this, and you like,
Listen. Let me tell you something. I realized that we let the enemy talk to us so much, and we let it come through people. Somebody could say something, and then, but then what happens is they become our gods. They become our, and so God is saying, oh, if you want to worry about them and what they're saying and what they're doing, when they're talking about you more than what I have for you, then I'm going to let you do your thing. I'm going to let you do you. And while you're doing you, you just out there. Yeah. You're just out there. Yeah. And then I realized that they became, the way I understood this thing was they became our God. I began to become them.
Or who they kept telling you were when you weren't.
or just give me an example. If somebody's always talking about somebody, is constantly negative, well then, if you're upset because that person is negative, and you're getting upset about that person, guess what you're going to become? Negative. And so that negative becomes your what? God.
Yeah.
So you become the king and queen of negativity. Yeah. So if we don't, it's like learning how to. What is God saying about your mind? I have the mind of Christ. What is God saying? The way a man thinketh, so is he. We have to literally take these scriptures and make them a part of our life, and not just take it. So the people that have raised in church may have walked away, but it's like those scriptures, they work. When you come back, they work. Yeah. We just get old enough so that 40-year-old Denise grew into this 50-year-old Denise, which grew into this 61-year-old Denise. I'm talking to her all the time because I'm soothing her so that I can soothe myself. Yeah. Like God saying, God was with me through everything that I've been through. He was always there. He was always there. So he's been covering me. He's protecting me. He's going to make sure whatever that call is on my life, I'm going to reach it. Yeah. So to me, I'm in a more thankful state that God, I think you didn't forget about me. I was out there trying to figure this thing out for myself, and you kept me. Yeah. And I didn't know you was holding me close. I didn't know you had me until I turned around and said, "Hey, let me go to my father about this." And then knowing that his arms was open, he was sitting right there waiting for me the whole time. Like, Denise, you did all of this stuff, and you could have went there a whole lot quicker, but you was trying to figure it out in your natural mind. So it's like, for me, it's like, it's no more natural mind. I don't want to. I don't want to figure it out on my own. I don't want to try to make, because it's an easier way. Yeah. It's an easier way. I love where I'm located. I love how God is pushing me out, like having me do things. He's having me do things that takes me out of my comfort zone. Yeah. In such a way where once I do it, I don't care anymore. Like, you don't like me? Okay. Yeah. You don't like what I'm doing? I'm okay. Yeah. Because what's most important is that God is using me. I'm way out where he wants me to be located, and people are being helped. Yeah. And that's the thing. I can go to bed at the end of the day knowing that I've helped somebody else's life become better. I've coached someone into seeing things from a different perspective. Yeah. And I don't come at them. How about this? I don't come at them with God. I don't do that. And that's good. I'm glad you said that. I don't do that. What I do, I come at them and I become their friend. I genuinely become your friend, because how can a friend help you or walk with you if they can't understand you? How could a friend help you if they're not listening, hearing you talk and saying what you're saying? Because they have their preconceived notion of what they think it should be. Yeah. So it's being a Christian without walking around, putting a cross on, and calling myself Minister so-and-so. Yeah. I don't have to do that because I'm already walking in it. I'm already doing it. Yeah. So people are going to say, "What is this? This is different about you. How do you become peaceful? How did you do this? How did you do that? Yeah. How?" And then that's how I get, because I got to live it. We have to live.
We have to live it.
We have to live it.
We have to live it.
Girl.
They just going to know you and know. They just want to know. They're going to see it in your spirit. They just going to, like, it's just something, like you said, it's just something about you. That just make me just want to come over and I want to talk to you. And I'm in that place now where it's like, I am that person. Yeah. And I'm okay with being that person. I am a big deal. Yeah. I didn't think I was a big deal. Say it again.
I'm a big deal.
You heard it.
I'm a big deal.
She's a big deal.
You're a big deal.
And you're amazing.
Hello.
And I think that's the big, you kind of just solved this whole thing. We need to know that we're a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Out of everything, we need to know that we're a big deal. That even when we're changing diapers,
you're a big deal.
You're a big deal.
You're a whole mom.
When you cleaning that house, you're a big deal.
Show up.
When you get married, you're a big deal.
Show up.
When you raising that teenager with the smart mouth, you're a big deal.
Show up.
When you got them grown women that may still be at home and still looking for guidance, you're still a big deal.
Show up.
Because guess what? They could have left your house.
Yeah, they could have.
And could have did whatever they wanted to do. But it's something about you. And it's something about you. Like, it's like, and I think that's what we forget. Before we were moms and wives and everything else, you were Denise. I was Jessica. Yep, we have a calling. Yes. We were sent here for something. And guess what? We're a big deal.
Hello. And we doing big things.
We're
doing big places. We're doing it. We're
doing it. Mm-hmm. So, before we leave, because you're doing some big things, mm-hmm. and I don't want to miss that in this whole conversation. Mm-hmm. You're a coach. Mm-hmm. You're selling things.
Yes.
And I want you to just tell us about your coaching. How do we get connected to that? And I'm definitely going to put it in my comments below. So check out the comments. And you want to give something away to bless someone today and help them with. I'm going to let you share that. I'm not going to go into it.
I want to give away a blend that I created. It's a calming blend. And because I believe that whatever goes in your body and on outside of your body should not interfere with the operation of your body. So most of the things that I create, if it goes in your mouth, it'll be okay. It won't hurt you. Mm-hmm. So I want to give a calming blend to somebody that are dealing with some heavy stuff, and they need to be calm. So it comes in the form of a cream. It comes in the form of an inhaler, or I can do it as an oil blend, whichever is convenient. So I'm going to give one of those 3 things, each one of those things away.
Okay. So we're going to put that in the comments below, right? I want to get well.
There you go. Yes.
I want to get well in the comment, and we're going to do a raffle, and we're going to pick out put everybody's name that says I want to be well in there, and information about your coaching and how someone can get connected to you as far as coaching, and we'll try to put that in the comments too. Do you have it?
Yes, I have an Instagram.
Okay.
And with the Instagram, it's Shem, SHEM, natural blends.
Okay.
And so they're all kind of formed together.
Okay.
So I guess you would say hashtag Shem, she has embraced me.
Okay.
So Shem, hashtag she has embraced me, or the @ she has embraced me, and I'll take you there. And then all of my websites, all the connections are there.
Okay.
So and they can.
So we'll put that in the comments. Do you have anything that you want to encourage women as a mom, as a entrepreneur, as a wife, anything you want to share or encourage somebody that might be going through something that we talked about today?
Yes, what I want to convey is what you're going through right now is not the end. It's there is a tomorrow. Wait for it, because whatever you're called to do, whatever that gifting is, it's going to happen. So where you're located right now, it's just right now.
Yeah.
Don't get stuck there. Reach out to someone, find a sisterhood, find someone that can help walk you positively in that direction. So I would say that if you're a mom and you're struggling right now, just embrace where you're located, because it's not going to be that way forever. Yeah. Time is moving quickly.
Yeah.
If you're saying, what about me? What about my career? The same thing. You already probably walking in it. You just have to be guided in it, and that's where the coaching comes in. Just helping you locate where you're supposed to be. So to say all of that is take a breath, take a breather, get a cup of tea or something, and just tell yourself it's not unto death. We're gonna be able to get through this. I can make it through this.
Yeah.
That's it.
So here we don't do life alone. So reach out to people. We love you. I love you so much. See you in the next one. Bye, guys.
See you later.
Bye, guys. Hey, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you got anything from it, please share it with someone you think it will bless. And make sure you never miss an episode by subscribing to The J. Christyn Show right here on YouTube. You can download the audio-only version by subscribing to the show on most major podcast platforms. Also, make sure you check out our links in the comments below for more ways to engage with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on The J. Christyn Show.